is no doubt that images enhances the look of our web pages. In this video, we want to talk about images. In our previous video, we looked at HTML attributes, and now we have an idea of what HTML attributes are. If you haven't, you can go back to my previous video and check out that particular video. All right, so if I want to place images onto my website, how should I do that? Of course, I have to use some kind of an element in HTML so that I can display my images on my web page. All right, so in HTML, we have an element which we call the image element. And so you can just write angle bracket, img, and then closing angle bracket. All right, so we saw in our previous lesson that this is a self-containing element. You don't need a closing tag, okay? So already here, this is enough on its own. This image element on its own without attributes is nothing, all right? So I can prove that to you. Let me save this and check out our web page in the browser. We can see that there isn't any image, even though I specified in my file that, we should have an image. So what's going on? Okay, so what is missing here? Okay, we have some attributes that are missing. We are missing the src, which is the source attribute. Okay, so the source attributes points to the image file that you want to place onto your web page. Okay, so what I did is, let me expand here. What I did was add an image into our project. And so now we have this image into our project. You can choose any image of your choice. I chose a PNG. You can choose a JPG or any other. All right, so what I'll have to do is inside the source here, I have to provide the path to this image. And so what I can do is in VS Code, you can hover over the image, right click on that particular image, and then copy what we call the relative path. Okay, so copy relative path, go to this source attribute, and then you can paste this. And so I'm going to paste it here. And now we have provided some kind of an image to be displayed on our web page. Okay, so if I'm to save this and go back to the browser, boom, we see we now have an image. All right, so like I said last time, some attributes are required in certain elements, and so the source attribute is one of those attributes that is mandatory here. If you do not provide this, then obviously you won't have any image displayed in your browser. Right? There is also one more attribute that is mandatory. We call that an alt attribute. Okay, this is alternative text that you have to provide. Let's say your browser cannot display this image. What would you want your visitors to see? Obviously, you would want them to see some kind of text. Okay, so this will show that alternative text. And so here I can say a developer image. This is the text that I want to show. All right, so developer image over here. And so let's say this image cannot be displayed. Let me just remove maybe the G at the end. Obviously, if this file extension is not correct, this image will not be displayed. And so if I save this, if I go to my web page, instead of displaying that image, now you can see we have some kind of text to tell the user that this image is an image of a developer, so developer image. So in this alt attribute, you can write whatever you want. You can write the description of your image such that, when you have a browser that cannot render your image, then the user will then see that particular text. Okay, so basically this is what you have to do. Up here, I think I have to put some line breaks. I have to put, I think, 3 line breaks. So that I can push this image downwards. Okay, so if I save this and go back, you can see now we have some space up here. So this is why I had to put those 3 line breaks. I wanted to create some space here. All right, so as you can see, that this is not looking great. However, we have managed to, to place our image on our website or on our web page. And so obviously this image can have more than these 2 attributes, styling, the width, the height, and stuff like that. We're not going to be touching on those things. We'll touch them when we get to CSS, which is about styling. And for now, we are just looking at placing content on our website. All right, and one more thing before we leave, I want to mention about, we say this is a relative path, okay? It's relative to this particular file. Both of these files are in the same folder, and so I just have to reference the image. Let's say I wanted some kind of an image which is not here, which is on some kind of a server. I have to provide what we call an absolute path. You can provide an absolute path up here, and it's going to work. It's going to try and locate that resource and then display it on your web page. All right, so I think we are done for today. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section. I hope to see you in our next video. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.